Hey, what's up? I'm thinking it would have been cheaper to buy my 30 subscribers a rose for Valentine's Day, as opposed to the amount of beer I drank and the cost of the greasy hangover cures the next day. Alas, we must deal with the decisions we have made. Happy belated V-Day to all those with loved ones, and to all those without, well, try my trick. Put on a Mexican wrestler's mask so no one will know who you are while crying. In terms of that. The mask, not the crying. I'm trying some different ideas with the sole purpose of making it faster to put videos out. Previously, it had taken me days to do the editing, and despite liking some aspects of it, and learning, I feel the priority should be the content, not the delivery. With less editing requirements, I hope to be able to put more videos out, perhaps to the chagrin of many. As my avid viewers will know, I don't often give my point of view in my videos. I don't see a lack of points of view as the issues we face. As I have often said, it's the lack of a common rule base that causes the problems in discussions or arguments. To many, that might not be super clear. Well, welcome Michael Knowles and Isabella Moody in tow to teach us what idiocy looks like. As well, of course, illustrate my point about these rules I keep talking about. As a quick idea on this topic, imagine playing badminton with me. Perhaps you know how to play. Perhaps you don't. Let's say I do not know how to play. I don't know about any of the equipment. I don't know any of the rules. In fact, today was the first day I've ever heard the word badminton. But I'm sure I can beat you, as you are sure you can beat me. We are so sure that we even bet money on the outcome. So, who's the winner? Think about it. If you know the rules, I don't acquiesce to your understanding of them. If you don't know the rules, will you acquiesce to my understanding of what they might be? We both want to win, and unless we agree to a rule set, like, say, rules found online, I will think I won, given my rules, as you will think you've won, given your rules. This is what I'm talking about. All right, Isabella, go ahead and lower the intelligence of all those who listen to you. Actually, before that, Isabella, your clickbait title was Michael Knowles Schools College Lib on Abortion. Just so you know, schools, in this context, usually means to educate in a way that is compelling. Michael was neither compelling, at least to those who are able to think for themselves, nor was the questioner educated, as her point, as poorly worded as it was, wasn't really addressed. But title your trash as you like, and I'll title mine as I like.
The pro-abortion people just aren't the brightest bulbs of the bunch. In this video, you'll see why I say that. We are reacting to Michael Knowles on yet another college campus because we love to see him debate these college libs that are just being brainwashed by their school system, like I always say.
First, I want to start off by saying I disagree with everything you say.
Classic already. She's already disagreeing with every single thing he's ever said. Hilarious. Let's keep going.
Charitable listening means to try to understand what you're hearing in the best possible light. Is that what you're doing here, Isabella? The lady said, I disagree with everything that you say. Is this actually the same as, I disagree with everything that you've ever said? Of course not. The lady has not heard everything Michael has ever said. She is disagreeing with the things she heard him say in that lecture, or perhaps everything she's ever heard him say. What you're doing is being immature, irrational, and biased. You have every right to do that. Certainly, we see others do it all the time. You should be aware, however, that you are breaking one of the rules we should follow if we're interested in truth. In so doing, you, by your example, are teaching your viewers how to be less rational, less reasonable, less open to new ideas, and in general are helping those who listen to your drivel become dumber. Congrats! Just like the colleges you dislike so much.
Why do you weaponize religion to justify your subjective opinions?
I really appreciate the question, but I think, if I'm understanding her correctly, that it was poorly worded. I think perhaps better worded, it might be something like, how can one use their religion in an argument against others who don't believe in that same religion?
How do you think I've done that?
You say that God says, oh, there's men, there's a woman, and just leave that as that,
Exactly. Michael is using his personal beliefs and attempting to argue with others who may not share those beliefs. This is not only dumb, it's also useless. I believe that in my sock drawer is a miniature mammoth. That mammoth tells me what is moral and immoral. That mammoth has also told me that George Carlin, even given that he's sadly deceased, will be the next president. First, this is dumb because nobody will be persuaded. In order to persuade people of this claim, I must first persuade them of my mammoth claim. Secondly, it is useless because all the people, and I hope there aren't too many, who also believe they have a mammoth in their sock drawer would have already been told that George will be the next president. Basically, Michael is preaching to the choir when he isn't speaking to the choir. He's using his mammoth to explain what he believes. This is very important and very simple. We need to use the rules. We already have them. We need to start using them. People like Michael here and Isabella, either they know about them and aren't using them, which makes them evil, intentionally trying to deceive, or they don't know about them and they are teaching us to use their ineffective, unreliable methods, which makes them harmful idiots. I don't really care which they are, and I certainly don't know. I just want people to be able to see their disingenuous arguments and tactics and realize them for what they are. Pathetic. This is not in any way restricted to the right. This is also evident in most on the left. And the middle ground.
And try to limit their rights because of what you think God said. God didn't speak to you.
God does speak to me, and he speaks to all of us, and we can read his word in the Bible, and we can go to church. That is true.
Ooh, hearing voices, Michael? Schizophrenia or psychosis are common, although not the only possibilities. Have you been checked out? No, Michael. God does not speak to all of us, not in any possible way you could mean. There are about 45,000 different denominations of Christians. If there were one God talking to all of them, why would there be so many sects? It has been estimated that about 4,500 religions have existed in the world. Those religions disagree, or disagreed, on a great many things, Michael. If one God is, or was, speaking to all of those people, please explain how some, like, say, the Aztecs, were sacrificing people, while others, like those into Jainism, take the utmost care to the point of not cooking food in order to not harm microbial beings. Also, there are atheists, as crazy as some of them are. I've never heard a voice that wasn't my own train of thought in my head. Now, let's throw this back at you, Michael, just to show you what you're doing. Everyone who is religious knows there is no God. They're just faking it. Do you see how horrible, wrong, immoral, and unhelpful that is to conversation? No, you probably don't. Because, just like Isabella here, you are wholly incompetent in the field you have entered. Basically, you don't think well. That's cool. I don't sing well. We all have strengths and weaknesses. Finally here, you said, that is true. Michael, that is something you believe to be true. I understand that, but you're wrong. I do not hear God's voice. Now, you may throw it back at me. Yes, Aphie, you do hear God's voice. You choose not to listen. Or some such trash. But Michael, I can play the same card. Michael, you know there is no God. You're faking it. When you say that you know in your heart I am wrong, I merely say you're still faking it. Do you see how we're going in circles, Michael? This is what I mean. We have long established ideas about coming to truth. You either don't know them or you're willfully ignoring them. In either case, I think it might be better if you and your cheerleader here were sent off the island. In other words, Michael, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
But what have I done? All I've done is just quoted the Bible, and I'd be happy to have a conversation about 2,000 years of church history on this subject, and I'm happy to have a conversation.
This is the point. You must have your interlocutor agree to this point before you get to use it in an argument. You may not use the Bible until you have shown it to be worthy of use. For the love of all things basic, Michael, I'm happy to talk to you about my mammoth. I would love to sit down and talk to you about the years we've spent together and the many, many things I've learned from it. Let's try to make this simple for the Michaels and Isabellas. The people that already believe you're rubbish already believe you're rubbish. The people that don't believe you're trash don't believe you're trash. You don't get to use your crap in an argument until you can show why I should believe your crap. It's not useful using your garbage in an argument with someone who already agrees with your garbage because they already agree. This religion is just one example of how people try to argue. This will not work on others who don't follow the same or perhaps similar religion. This is an argument from authority, Michael. That's a fallacy, buddy. Just like my mammoth. Evil or ignorant and harmful? I don't know, and I really don't care. Just stop hurting people. That means that you need to educate yourself on how to educate others. The difference between indoctrination and education, in my mind, is very simple. We can back up everything we say in education with facts, evidence, and proofs. With indoctrination, well, Michael, you're doing such a great job. I'll let you give some more examples.
That's not a weapon against any people. That's a weapon against falsehood. And so the only way in which I would turn religion into a weapon is against the devil.
It's not a weapon against falsehood, nor a weapon of any kind at all. It's an imaginary friend, just like my mammoth. At least until you can show me some evidence, as I would expect you to want some about my mini mammoth. As far as religion being a weapon against the devil, arrogant much? Your religion, in your mind, may be used against the devil you think exists. Most of the religions that have ever existed didn't believe in a devil in a comparable way to your flavor of Christianity. Having said that, I'm very happy for you that your irrational beliefs are conquering your imaginary boogeyman. Score 1 point for Team Michael over Team... Well, I haven't seen any evidence at all that he is playing against another team, but I guess congrats on your victory, Michael. I'm glad you're making very good use of your weapon.
Because religion is a habit of virtue that renders to God what he deserves. That's the meaning of the word religion. And so...
What? Michael, a dictionary may help. This is not what a religion is. Google, despite its many flaws, can be helpful. You might be interested in getting information from out in reality sometime, as opposed to the voices in your head, just once in a while. For me? For the betterment of your family. Society?
I'm just reading the text and I'm practicing the faith and I'm telling you what the faith has said for 2,000 years. And you might reject it, but I think that it's true.
Look, I'm just here telling you what my mammoth says, and well, I think it's true. I just don't know why I'm not being invited to give talks on what my mammoth tells me. The world would be so much better. Nail on the head, buddy. She might reject it, just like you might reject my mammoth. And so, with the utmost respect and all the dignity that I can muster, why the sweet hell are you using an argument that others should reject? Now, to be fully honest, Lots of dudes reject lots of arguments for lots of reasons. Certainly, not all valid reasons. What I'm saying is that there are at least very small parts, in different subjects or areas perhaps, where everyone uses rationality. I would further say that no person is always rational. Certainly I am not always rational, despite my best attempts. This is the fundamental bit that we must use, simply because it is the fundamental bit. It's really that simple. Arguments from authority are not rational. Not charitably listening is a great way to get into an argument, and is a terrible way to learn or persuade others. Basically, everything you have said up to this point is harming thought. You are teaching people how not to think. But please, I'm already here, so go on.
And you might think that it's false, and you might have a different set of beliefs, but one of us is, at the very most, one of us is going to be right. And so at the very least, one of us is going to be wrong, and I just happen to be correct about this.
Correct. At the very best, one of you is right, and at the very least, one of you is wrong. I wonder if you could give some evidence as to why your point of view is correct. Like I said, and I think was the questioner's original point, how can you use your personal subjective religion to argue any point at all? Or, to make it easier, my mammoth says that eating fruit is harmful. Therefore it's harmful. Oh, no point arguing, Michael. At best, one of us are right. At least one of us are wrong, but my mammoth happens to be right about this. Argument from authority fallacy, you ignorant muffin. Honestly, I've eaten more intelligent fish. To be clear, I do have a different concept of intelligence than most, but that's a topic for another video.
Oh, you gotta love Michael Knowles and how he just handles these situations. He's very blatant about being like, hey, I know I'm correct, and he's kind of smug about it and arrogant, but in like the best way possible. I'm not even saying that this is an insult. I think it's great. And you know that she's just getting fired up inside. Let's see her response.
Hey, welcome to the video, Isabella. Your video. I find it strange that a lot of content creators do this. They basically play a clip and not much more. I suppose it is just marketing. I do not know if Isabella is part of the Michael Knowles media group. I think he's with Ben Shapiro, no? However, honest question. Is Isabella creating content, or is she clipping content? I suppose there is a call for that nowadays with the attention span of the TikTok gen. Holy crap! A squirrel! Dudes may do whatever they want to, I suppose, within the law. No, Isabella, I don't just have to love people like Michael Knowles or Rachel Maddow. And I want to keep this video under 5 hours, so I'll just stop at those two. They indoctrinate the masses who are not educated in rational critical thinking, so as to believe insane things. People who believe insane things sometimes do insane things. Those things can be very harmful to individuals, society, and even the entire world. Examples are easy. Pick your least favorite figure from history. Now, ask yourself how they managed to do whatever horrible thing they did. As for arrogance and smugness, I feel a bit of a pinch where the doctor slapped me, but yes, I agree. Michael is arrogant and smug. Do you know the difference between arrogance and confidence, Isabella? Confident people can actually do what they say they can. Arrogant people only care if you believe they can do it. Yes, Isabella, Michael is arrogant. You are the evidence. As for the lady getting fired up inside, I bet you would too if I tried to use my mammoth in an argument from authority in a discussion with you. The reason for this is very natural reaction is that in this case, I would not be dealing with your arguments, your points, or your ideas. I'm simply relying on my mammoth, which you don't believe in. More than slightly annoying, but yes, we see similar arguments all the time.
I can respect the confidence, but it's just purely delusion.
That a girl, give it to him. To be fair, Perhaps there is a God. Perhaps Michael is right in his personal understanding of that hypothetical God. I have to admit that. The problem is, perhaps there is a mini mammoth in my sock drawer. Perhaps there is another named George Carlin who will, in fact, by some fluke of chance, become the next president. The point I hope she is making, and the point I would like to make, is simply this. Both Michael's concept of religion, as well as my farcical concept of the mammoth, can in fact be called irrational, right up until the time they are evidenced, after which time they cannot be called irrational anymore. And so, don't argue irrationally might be a very easy axiom to adopt here.
Hold up, you're telling me that the person who just started off her entire question rant with "Stop Asian hate, Black Lives Matter, trans people," or whatever, you're telling me that she's saying that Michael Knowles is delusional?
Tu quo que. Tu quo que is the name of the fallacy you've just committed. In my opinion, people who don't know how to think, looking at you and Michael, shouldn't be trying to persuade others. But it is a free country, so feel free to hurt your viewers any way you like, within the confines of the law, I suppose. Tu quo que, despite its name, is very simple, Isabella. Let me try to explain it to you. When someone makes a claim, we must talk about that claim. We attempt to find the truthfulness, or lack thereof, of that claim. The tu quo que fallacy does not do this. It changes the focus to the other person. That is what you've just done. Evil or ignorant and harmful? When the lady calls Michael delusional, you calling the lady delusional is you committing this fallacy. The lady has called Michael delusional. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Let's find out, shall we? Very simply, he believes in things which have no evidence. That makes him irrational, at least on this particular topic. But is that the same as delusional? No, it isn't. Delusional means one is holding on to a belief when there is incontrovertible evidence to the contrary. Although many atheists may disagree with me, and might even be correct, I'm not aware of any incontrovertible evidence that Michael's particular God concept is false. Perhaps if I knew more about exactly what his beliefs are, I would change my mind on this.
I mean, come on, guys. Like Michael Knowles said, someone's right or wrong. The right is correct or the left is correct, or vice versa, the other's wrong. But we, being on the right, we're on the right side of things. We tend to be on the right side of things. It's literally in our name.
Damn it, you twit. Now you're making me defend the other twit. No, that is not what Michael said. And I don't even think that's what he meant. I repeated and agreed with what he said. Apparently, it went over your well-coiffed hair. A nice way of saying empty head. Oops. Damn. Before you accuse me of ad hominem, which I don't doubt you would, a little more education. You're an idiot. That's called an insult. I think you're stupid. That's another insult. I can go on, but hopefully the point has been made. You are wrong about who won the Super Bowl because you're stupid. That, my dear, is not an insult, although it certainly may be insulting. That is an ad hominem fallacy. In case you didn't catch the distinction, when we use a personal insult as a reason during an argument, that is the ad hominem fallacy. Calling people names is not fallacious. Rude, perhaps. Sometimes undeserved, certainly. But I think I'm okay in this particular case. What I think Michael meant, what I meant, and what you got horribly wrong, is not that one side is right and the other side is wrong. At most, one side is right, and at least one side is wrong. Your lack of understanding on the difference here is, well, sad. You're missing the most obvious case. It is certainly possible that both Michael and the lady are wrong. As for your, we're on the right, so we are right, it's in the name, I hope that was a joke. A poor one. But I didn't see a smile, so you should be aware that there is, to the best of my knowledge, no correlation between the political right and being correct, nor is there any correlation between the left and being wrong. In the case that you weren't making a joke, I would be interested in some arguments supporting your position. It might interest you that I'm right-handed. Therefore, I'm right. See how stupid you sound?
Okay, girl, we get it. You are not Christian. You do not care what God says in the Bible. But even if you're an atheist, agnostic, whatever, there's still no reason why you should think a man can become a woman.
Wow. Just wow. I won't go into the difference between agnosticism and atheism. Educate yourself. But, being I am a teacher, let me help a bit. Although words are descriptive, they also do have origins. And yes, I'm aware that the meanings often change over time. Put a word into Google. I might suggest agnostic. Follow that with the word etymology. That is the study of the origins of words. Good luck, and happy hunting. As for your claim that there's still no reason why a man can become a woman, my mammoth says they can. That's exactly the problem, Isabella. When we argue from our personal beliefs, which others do not share, the argument isn't going to go anywhere. Michael is using his personal beliefs to argue from. My mammoth is the exact same thing. Sure, you can say that there's the Bible. I'll write a book, a mini mammoth book. Sure, you can say that lots of people all over the world and throughout history have believed it. But that's also true of the sun orbiting the earth. Appeal to popularity fallacy, or antiquity if you like. Another one you probably don't know, Isabella.
Let's hear it. Cue the, you're telling women what they can and cannot do with their body, even though it's the baby that dies. But let's see what she says. They're always so predictable. You can already predict whatever these people are going to say.
Damn it, there's that butt clench again. Yes, Isabella, you are right. It is a very sad and a very telling thing that for many large groups of people, hearing one of their ideas enables you to know which group they're in, and therefore enables you to know many of their other ideas. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm stealing someone's quote here. Paraphrased, of course. Despite looking for like half an hour, I could not find the quote. So, if anyone out there knows who said that or something very similar, please post it in the comments. Back to it though. Yes, we can guess to a high degree of probability what she is about to say about this topic. And yes, that is a sign, not a definite indication, but certainly a sign of indoctrination. Now, from the silence of the lambs, you see a lot, Doctor. But are you strong enough to point that high-powered perception at yourself? Do you honestly think that your, or Michael's ideas here, couldn't have easily been espoused by many people prior to hearing them? What I'm trying to say is that you're the pot calling the kettle black. To be clear, for those who don't know the saying, you are a hypocrite. Given that you're on the right, and given that you're Christian, I and most others in Western countries know exactly where you stand on a ton of issues. Exactly the same way that you know where this lady stands on many issues due to her potential belonging into a group. Groupthink kind of sucks, doesn't it, Isabella? We can talk about how harmful that is, perhaps in another video. For now, I find it horribly boring to talk to people whose ideas are easily guessed from belonging to a group. Yes, both the ladies' views, as well as yours, are equally easy to espouse. This happens when people follow ideologies, as opposed to thinking.
Do you think it's hard to ask someone, hey, don't murder an innocent person, even if you want to, even if that would be convenient? Because that's what we're saying about
because our fundamental beliefs are different. I don't think it's murder. I think it's that thing in the baby.
That thing. Oh, wait. She just said baby. Hold up. She just said baby. She just said the quiet part out loud. They never want to admit that it's a baby.
As usual, I'm not going to give my opinion on the topic they're discussing. Rather, I want to look at how they are discussing it. 2 points here. First, and it has been the whole point of my video, the lady is right. She and Michael are coming at this topic from very different starting points. I'm not sure where she's coming from, but I am willing to admit that Isabella may be correct, in that it could be indoctrination received from college or something similar. Michael, on the other hand, is coming at this, and most things as far as I can tell, from his religion. The thing I'm trying to point out is that we both must come from a basis of reason and an honest search for the truth. The reason for this is simple. That is the only basis we all share, at least in some contexts. Michael, in all videos I've seen him in. Isabella, in all videos I've seen her in, be it only 3. Well, it's pretty obvious that neither of them are willing or able to come to the table with the maturity and education required to have any kind of difficult conversation where truth is the goal. That is why I make videos. The second point, the immaturity Isabella is showing here is head-shaking at the very least. Baby! Baby! She said baby! She said the calling part out loud! She believes it's a baby! Slow down there, Sugar Socks. My mammoth asked me to call you that. I think he likes you. People misspeak. In order to have an adult conversation, we have to allow others the right and ability to make mistakes and correct themselves. I'm sure you would expect that from others, so please, offer them the same courtesy, lest it not be offered to you. What is that verse that many religions have used? Do unto others. Hypocrite.
And I think you just
Okay,
proved the point.
chill out. But the thing in the uterus is not a baby. That's what I was trying to say. It's just
thing.
a clump of cells. It's a tumor.
Wow. Didn't expect that one. No, it isn't. And this is just one example of why the words we choose are important. A tumor is an abnormal mass of tissue that forms when cells grow and divide more than they should, or do not die when they should. A fetus is neither an abnormal mass, nor does it have cells which grow and divide more than they should, nor does it not die when it should. Granted, perhaps she misspoke again. But in the case that she didn't, a very poor argument.
So you're saying, well, I just don't believe that, but you obviously do believe that because you just admitted it because you called the baby a baby.
Wow. Awesome. Is that how it's done, Michael? One person says the wrong word one time and they obviously agree with you? I remember in this very video where you incorrectly defined religion. So, obviously you're an atheist. I know you're an atheist because you don't know what religion means. It's clear. Otherwise you wouldn't have used the wrong definition for religion.
You don't want to acknowledge that reality because it's inconvenient.
Ooh, nice straw man fallacy. You are telling this person, who's shaking their head no, why they believe what they're telling you they do not believe. Evil or ignorant and harmful? Look, I can't let you have all the fun, Michael. Let me try my hand at a straw man fallacy. We already know that you're an atheist, Michael, because you don't know what the meaning of religion is. The reason you're an atheist is because you feel personally hurt by something in your past. As a result, you hate God, and you use your emotional reaction to spread your hateful atheistic message, disguised as it is in your false notion of religion. Michael, this is not how we convince people who disagree with us. This is apparently how we get airheads who already agree with us to continue agreeing with us. In this video alone, how many fallacies have been laid out by Isabella and your ignorant butt? 3? 4? I'm losing track. Do better. You are hurting people with your examples of ignorance. Your examples of flawed thinking.
Walks away. And as classic liberals do, they walk away and give up just like they always do when they were caught in a lie.
Yes, she walked away. I don't pretend to know what she was thinking, but perhaps she was thinking exactly what I think every time I hear someone spouting irrational trash. There's no point in engaging. If one doesn't know the first thing about badminton, until we can agree to the rules, until we can understand and agree on how to play this game, there can be no winner. Which means we cannot hope to find the truth of the situation regardless of the topic. There will only be tribes being formed and reformed, individuals pushing each other farther and farther away. I have no interest in tribes, and I certainly have no interest in pushing people farther away. To the contrary, I want to bring people together. But we cannot do that until we are able to disagree in an honest way. Michael is not arguing honestly. Isabella is not searching for truth. The lady had some good points, but I doubt she has a firm grasp on these best practices either. The only thing I want to do with this channel, my only goal, is to show people these rules. these best practices. I would imagine that you 30 or so beautiful subscribers don't even need this, but fire up YouTube. How many people do?